Good morning, Africa. Welcome to the first edition of Viva Afrika. This is the only podcast that discusses African football from Cairo to Cape Town, Accra to Casablanca, Nairobi to Lagos. And this is Viva Afrika.
And a chance, and they've scored!
In this Classico of South Africa.
So this week we start all the way in Ghana because there's the biggest story on the continent this week as far as match fixing and manipulation is concerned. And to help me unpack this, it's none other than Owereku from Joy Media and also a contributor for Opta Analyst. I think I got that right?
Yeah, you did, Eric. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nice. How is Ghana, man? How is West Africa?
Ghana is good. Lots of sunshine and rain at this point, but it's cool as well.
Now let's start with the biggest story of the week right now. Ashanti Gold and Inter Allies have been relegated, I think something like that. Could you please tell us more about this story?
So for more context, back in 2021, around mid-July, that was when the 2020-2021 Ghana Premier League season ended. Now, it was the last match day of the season, and Ash Gold were playing against Inter Allies at home. And, for our TV broadcast, the start times, they don't show every match during a match day. They usually pick about 3 to 4 games, and there are 18 teams in the league. So there'll be some matches without TV coverage. And so, unfortunately, Ash Gold and Inter Allies were one of those games. So every journalist who didn't go to the match or any fan saw the scoreline 7-0 in the end and was a bit surprised. But not too surprised because Ash Gold had been scoring goals for fun in the season. Now, the element of surprise came from the last 2 goals because it was the first time that a player was scoring 2 own goals in the Ghana Premier League season for that season. It's something unprecedented. And so there was some curiosity as to how those 2 own goals were scored. And thankfully, I think on Monday, videos started to resurface the internet about the concerning the highlights of the games. And if
I saw some videos.
You look at the 2 own goals by Hashmin Musa, you could definitely tell that there was something wrong. And it was well thought. It was voluntary. He picked up the ball, ran towards his own goal, and scored himself twice. And so that led to question marks, and he was questioned after the game. And he said that he had heard that they wanted to put together a correct score of 5-1. And so they had told their family members to bet, that's officials and players, to bet 5-1 correct score. And so when he heard of this news, he wanted to destroy it. And so that's why he scored those 2 own goals. And so this in itself gave the Ghana Football Association some bit of fundamentals to establish a case of match fixing. And so since July last year, 2021, they've been investigating, and there's been pressure on them because people actually thought, hey, it's getting to 1 year, we should be getting a verdict now. But right before the season ended this time around, with 6 matches to go, we woke up on Monday and there was a verdict, which is pretty interesting because it's quite stern and very, very strict. So in terms of the punishment, we have Inter Allies and Ash Gold, both sets of teams, being demoted all the way to Division 2. That's the lowest tier in Ghana football currently. And then we also have both clubs being fined 100,000 Ghana cedis. And so that's the fine that they have to pay. And then we have some other nitty-gritties. For instance, the Ash Gold CEO, Dr. Koku Pimpon, has also been fined 100,000 Ghana cedis. His son, who is the CEO of the club, Emmanuel Pimpon, has also been fined 50,000 Ghana cedis. And there's a lot of fines. About close to 20 players or 30 players have also been banned for an extended period because of their involvement. But there's still question marks because there's some people who feel that there's a lot of hearsay in the report and it doesn't look like evidence that's substantiated. But all the same, people are still happy that match fixing has been dug out and the perpetrators have been dealt with.
Ghana is obviously coaching some Premier League stars. That is Andy Getia from Arsenal, Tarek Lamptey from Brighton, and I think Callum Hudson-Odoi. I saw that Getia will be making a decision at the end of the season. How far are those discussions, and are you confident that Ghana will secure all three of them?
Oh, obviously, like you said, my parents are both Ghanaian of Ghana heritage, so yeah, of course, it's a possibility. I think I'm open to both, whether that's playing for Ghana and obviously England as well. Like you said, I've played through the youth team, so naturally, when I was obviously younger, it just made sense. Obviously, they called me up to go and play for them. So obviously, it's good. Obviously, being from Ghana, you're obviously happy that they've qualified for the World Cup. Obviously, I know players like Thomas. I'm happy for them as well. So listen, it's always good to have that opportunity to potentially do.
Well, for Nketiah, we know that the Ghana Football Association established communication with him a few years ago, and it's not a process that was started just now. They've been
Okay.
talking to his parents. His parents are purely Ghanaian,
Okay.
and his dad especially has been trying to talk to Nketiah. Now, I think it got really interesting after he became the top scorer for England's youth side in history, and
Yeah.
even after that, he was snubbed by the subsequent English call-ups, and he's just never been in the picture. And
Yeah.
it's understandably so, because I mean, you need some level of consistent club football to be able to be in the company of Harry Kane, Calvert-Lewin, Watkins, and all these great strikers that England do have. And so when Ghana qualified for the World Cup, that's when it became a real possibility, because
Yes.
they're going to be sharing a global stage with the same England that you want to go and play. And
Yes.
it's all about, I don't think it's even about the competition, but it's
Yeah.
about the chance to make history for yourself and to be able to go where you are accepted as a player. And so
Yeah.
I think that has been the advantage for Ghana. We had in this interview when he said that he's open to playing to both, and at the moment he's a bit skewed towards Ghana,
Okay.
because Ghana lost Asamoah Gyan and don't really have any reliable striker up front, and this is just a chance for him to walk straight into a team and become the main man. And so
Yeah.
that prospect sounds very, very good to him. And
Yeah.
so he was skewed to Ghana maybe a couple of months, no, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
But the danger here is England are always just a phone call away. And I
Yeah.
feel that once he's not declared he wants to play for Ghana, England could just step in and promise him something and just ruin it all up. So it's not certain yet, but he is really considering Ghana, and I think things will become more difficult because his side Arsenal might not qualify for the Champions League, and if they don't, then it's a case of, does he stay with Arsenal? Where does he go? And so there's a lot of stuff that he has to clear up in terms of
Yeah.
his decision making before he's able to declare for Ghana or not. For Hudson Odoi, I don't think he's a stranger to the Ghanaian culture. He's visited the country twice in the past year. The
Yeah. I saw him
president
last
has,
year.
yeah, during his visit, he's felt like a king. He's been taken to the Jubilee House to meet the president, the Ghana Football Association president. They've all spoken to him concerning the chance to play for Ghana. And so he is well in the known. And he is probably more Ghanaian than any other any other of the
The
dual
prospects. Yeah.
nationalities. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think that he's also on the way, and his case is also similar to Eddie Nketiah, that he's not really getting consistent time at his club, and so
Yes.
it's not just the national team that he has to sort out. He has to also discuss issues concerning his club. Does he have to move from Chelsea to get more game time? But Hudson Odoi is definitely Ghanaian. The only issue is that he would officially be able to play for Ghana just a week before the World Cup. And that's because of the new rule by FIFA, where you have to wait 3 years to your last appearance if you're under 21 and you want to switch. And that was somewhere, I think, early November when with England in
Yeah.
2019. And
Yeah.
so that means that 3 years would be just 1 week before the World Cup. So that would be when Hudson Odoi can officially switch his nationality. And so that would be pretty tight for him. But I'm
Yeah.
still hopeful that going forward, he would definitely choose Ghana. And for Tariq Lamptey,
Yeah.
he is probably the least Ghanaian out of the three, and that's because he spent a lot of time in the UK, and
Yeah.
the prospect of playing for Ghana had never really been a case to I think about last year,
Yeah.
where when he established his own foundation in Ghana and that was through the advice of his parents, who are also Ghanaian. And so he believes
Both
that
of them are Ghanaian.
yeah, so if he
Okay.
wants to play for Ghana, then you have a feeling that his parents will have a lot of say in that. And we're told that they're trying to convince him. And for Tariq Lamptey, it's just a case of him looking ahead of him in England and realizing that I would have to compete with the likes of Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Kyle Walker, Kyle Trippier, Livramento, and all these budding talents are right back. When is he ever going to get his chance? Even Wan-Bissaka is considering moving to DR Congo because of the competition in England. So I think that might be the saving grace for Tariq Lamptey. If he ever wants to play international football consistently, I think Ghana would present him that. And it is a real possibility now.
And they totally brilliant.
Let's now go to Nigeria, where the Super Eagles have appointed a new head coach ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. And the head coach is from Portugal, called Jose Peseiro. And now joining me all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, to digest on this matter is none other than Puja Media. Puja, welcome to my podcast.
Good morning, Eric. Thanks for having me.
Nice. So how's the feeling in Nigeria right now? There's a new manager. We know Nigeria did not have a very good campaign in the last couple of months, the World Cup qualifiers, and obviously the Africa Cup of Nations. Could you please tell us on the situation right now in Nigeria?
Well, the feeling is mutual. Remember, this is not the first time you will the name Joseph Peseiro is mentioned in the media in Nigeria. Before we went to Cameroon for the African Cup of Nations, he has been mentioned to actually replace Genetro, the sacked coach from Germany. But unfortunately, because of agreements, it couldn't come. So we waited for the World Cup qualifier against Ghana that he is going to take over because, of course, we had an interim coach in Austin Eguavoen at AFCON, and of course, going to the World Cup qualifier. So the news for Sarah has been in the media. Even before now, the conversation to join the team, with the AFCON qualifier against Sierra Leone that will take place in June. But because of financial aspect, financial troubles in the NFF, and of course the uncertainty that actually hit them after we lost out of the qualifier to Ghana, I think that it has been coming, and the name has been in the media, and we are actually journalists have been expecting the official announcement, because from feelers from the the Federation, we knew it's going to be the one. And it's good that everything is settled now. I think it's a new dawn for Nigeria. It's like starting on a new plate. And I think he's going to join the team in US for the friendly against Mexico and Ecuador. And I think the feeling is good. Though they have to win the fans back, because the fans are very, very hungry with the team. But I think the new manager, as well as the new call-ups, we actually take the Super Eagles or the call-up very seriously.
Now, we know Nigerians do bring the vibe, the excitement, the good feeling at the World Cup. How disappointed is the country right now? We have a World Cup coming up in December, but Nigeria is not there.
Let me, now, after we lost out, of course, the street of Lagos, street of Abuja, because we are in Abuja, we're very quiet. But the pain, I would say the pain will not. That's where the competition actually starts. End of the year. That is where we know, yes, Nigeria will not be at the World Cup. And I think by then, Nigeria realized that because there will be banter from the Ghanaians, there will be banter from the rest of the world. And by then, you will now realize that we are going to watch the World Cup on TV. So I think right now, the feeling is still not out of the window. Competition actually starts. That's how okay, fine. We are not going to the World Cup.
Puja, I wish you all the best, obviously, the next couple of weeks and months with the new manager. And I hope to speak to you soon again.
Thank you very much for having me, Eric. Just send a DM, send a message. I'll be right here talking about African football.
Nice.
And they totally brilliant.
Let's go now to Kenya and speak to David Kwalimwa, who is a football journalist with the Daily Nation, to tell us on the situation there right now in Nairobi, because the country has been suspended by FIFA alongside Zimbabwe, and the Cup of Nations qualifiers do start in exactly 2 weeks. So we want to know what is the way forward. I've been told that there's a transition committee that has been formed by the local Minister of Sports, and this is now David Kwalimwa telling us more about this transitional committee?
Well, the Kenyan government has put in place a transition committee to oversee the running of football in Kenya in the interim, following a fallout between the Football Kenya Federation and the Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed. Well, what this transition committee means is that the Kenyan government is yet to get to an agreement with the world governing body FIFA in regard to the management of football. Remember, FIFA has spelled out conditions that should be met for Kenya to be readmitted back to the international fold. As it is right now, Kenya is banned, or rather indefinitely suspended from participating in football activities. So FIFA has spelled out conditions which include reinstating football officials to the closed secretariat, the government having closed the Football Kenya Federation secretariat here in Nairobi.
So David, at what point now will we see now FIFA forming the normalization committee?
A normalization committee will only be put in place in Kenya when, not if, when FIFA and the government of Kenya, excuse me, do agree on the way forward. Remember, there's a crisis that has lasted more than 6 months right now, a crisis that threatens to bring the running of football in Kenya to a complete halt, with a with a caretaker committee put in place by the government, not recognized by FIFA. As a result, the national women football team, known as the Harambee Starlets, has missed out on the qualification matches for the Africa Cup of Nations. Also, as a result, the women national team likely to miss out on the CECAFA Women Championships, which is a regional football tournament to be held in Uganda in the coming days. So there will be a normalization committee at some point, it is believed, but this will be after the government of Kenya, FIFA, and to an extent Football Kenya Federation close ranks to agree on the way forward. As it is right now, both parties have stuck to their guns, and it's difficult to know whether we're going to be seeing any white smoke anytime soon, whether these parties are going to thrash out a deal. So it's a wait and see situation for the Kenyan football fraternity, and a painful wait for Kenya, especially if that does involve missing out on participating in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualification.
Now, Cup of Nations qualifiers for Kenya, I know they're in the same group with Namibia, Cameroon, and Burundi. This should be a relatively fair group for the Harambee Stars. They were not there last time, but they were in Egypt in 2019. How did it look from a perspective?
A group involving Kenya, Burundi, and Namibia and Cameroon looks relatively straightforward on paper, but on the ground it is not. Remember, as I said earlier, Kenya has not competed in any international engagement since November 2021, when Ingen Ferrat was in charge of the team. He's since left. Kenya doesn't have a national team coach right now, and putting up a team just in 2 weeks for the sake of the qualification matches might be a big risk, might be a big ask. So as it is right now, you can't really say what to expect from a Kenyan team should it be cleared to compete in the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Of course, the players are itching to take part in this competition, but it is not that straightforward, with the FIFA having slapped an international ban on Kenya. As well, the future of Kenyan football is at stake right now. It's very bleak, whichever way you try and look at it, with the national teams not competing in international engagements, with the Kenyan clubs not competing in continental assignments, with the referees banned from competing or from officiating matches at the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar later this year.
First European goal of the season.
So I like this part now. This part we call it now the stars abroad. We're going to look at the African stars now outside Africa, how they're doing in their local leagues. And today we're in France, where Idrissa Gana Gueye organized something special. So Neymar is now the custodian of the Africa Cup of Nations final match ball. Yes, so Neymar got the ball by 160,000 euros. It was an auction organized by Idrissa Gana Gueye, and obviously this event in support of Gana Gueye's quest to help children on the continent, given the proceeds from the auction will be used to fund HIV and cancer care for children in Africa. So congratulations to Idrissa Gana Gueye of Senegal for doing this good job, and obviously to Neymar for buying the ball. Elsewhere, Sadio Mane of Senegal, Mohamed Salah of Egypt, Naby Keita of Guinea, and Joel Matip of Cameroon were the FA Cup winners on Saturday when they beat Chelsea on post-match penalties. Hakim Ziyech of Morocco and Edouard Mendy of Senegal were on the losing side. Obviously, the women's game now is one of the fastest growing sports in the world. And today we start in Spain, where Nigerian superstar that is Asiat Oshola is the top scorer in the Spanish Primera Division with Barcelona Femenina. Yes, she made history as Barcelona made history as the first team in Spanish football history to win the league with a perfect record thanks to a 2-1 win over Atletico Madrid at the Johan Cruyff Stadium in the season finale on Sunday. So the Super Falcon forward scored 20 goals in 19 appearances and will share the award with Brazilian Jess Ferreira, who also scored 20 goals for Madrid CFF. Barcelona do finish the season with 30 wins in 30 matches, with 159 goals scored and just 11 conceded. Congratulations to Barcelona Feminine and obviously the Super Falcon forward that is Asisat Oshola of Nigeria.
Republic in the final minute. Champions League.
So the CAF Champions League and the Confederation Cup are going to the final. The finals have been confirmed on May 20th and May 27th, respectively. So Orlando Pirates will take on RS Berkane in the Confederations Cup final, with Al Ahly taking on Wydad in the Champions League final. That should be at the end of this month. So the Moroccan side beat TP Mazembe 4-1 to win the game 4-2 on aggregate, while Orlando Pirates of South Africa saw off Al Ahly Tripoli 2-1 on aggregate. Here is the team of the week. It's posted or shared by official CAF media accounts. That's it from me now. That is the first edition of Viva Afrika, where we'll be telling you everything concerning African football, from Cape Town to Cairo, Nairobi to Lagos, Casablanca to Accra. This is African story told by Africans for Africans. If we don't tell this story, who will? My name is Eric Njiru.
Yes, and a chance, and they've scored!
In this Classico of South African football.